So people have been going pretty wild, no pun intended, over Monster Hunter Wilds, and they've been trying to figure out ways to try to make the game run better. They've been trying to figure out ways as to, or reasons as to why the game is just performing so terribly. And apparently, according to a couple of threads over on Reddit, people have discovered that there is a typo that is in the configuration file that has to do with the resolution of the game. And when you fix that typo, apparently it makes the game play way better overall. And it's just a small little typo that could be causing so many issues for so many gamers. Now, again, guys, this is all speculation at this point. There are people that are talking about this like crazy over on Reddit. I don't use Reddit, but I see different articles pulling snippets from the Reddit forums, and people are talking about this like crazy, and they're trying to say that this works. This is what's happening right now. This may not solve all problems, but it solves a lot of problems, and I think it's absolutely insane. But I also understand that when it comes to coding or anything of that nature, one simple mistake could ruin a line of code that could destroy how a game overall performs. So I'm not super shocked at that in the slightest. So let's get into this article, guys, from The Gamer. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push this out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says Monster Hunter Wilds fans thinks that its poor performance is due to a typo in the code. Monster Hunter Wilds has been going through hell on PC due to its massive performance issues. It's not clear why the game is running so badly for most, but some think it's due to a simple typo in the game's code. Resolution is accidentally spelled as Rosotuin, which some have corrected, and reported fixes from doing so. If this is true, okay, if this is true, and this is how, this is how it is in the game code, that is insane, bro. Like, how do people not check something as simple as how resolution is spelled in the game code? Like, I just don't, what is happening here? I mean, we really have such a low standard for PC porting. It's bad. Like when you have like companies like Capcom, right, that are called Crapcom for a reason, even though I love Capcom games, but let's be real, they're very lazy with their PC ports. They're very bad with their PC ports. And you would think by 2025, they would have improved even a little bit, but they really haven't at the end of the day. It's overall pretty damn trash. But Monster Hunter Wilds players have discovered a small typo in the game's configuration settings and think that correcting it fixes a bunch of the game's performance problems on PC. When Capcom blessed us all with a free and early look at Monster Hunter Wilds through multiple open betas earlier this year, console players were mostly having the time of their lives. That wasn't the case over on Steam, though, as the beta was riddled with performance and optimization issues that Capcom promised would be fixed for the final release, and guess what? Never was. Of course, it never is. Like, anytime Capcom says they're going to fix XYZ, and by the time the game comes out, they never do. And then when Capcom says they're going to fix XYZ game, shortly after the game's release, they never do. It takes literally forever for them to fix things, and it's quite sad at the end of the day. Cut to the last week's long-awaited launch, and that's not the case at all, as Monster Hunter players on PC are still having a ton of issues getting the game to run properly. Wilds might have reached over 1 million players on Steam during its launch day, but the mixed reviews make it clear that it's been a very rough few days for anybody playing on the PC platform. Now, again, guys, I saw the reviews. They are going up, and I checked it earlier today. It is still going up. So for the most part, it started off at a 60-40 split, but as of right now, the game currently hit an all-time peak of 1.3 million players, almost 1.4 million players, and their reviews have passed 50%. So when I first did my video, it started off at a 60-40 split with 40% positive, 60% negative. Now there is more positive than there is negative for this video game. The reviews have drastically increased from the 30-some-odd thousand reviews from when I first did my video to over 80,000 reviews for this game. So again, it's very clear that community sentiment is rising for this particular video game, but at the end of the day, there is still so many issues that are plaguing this game. But then again, the most likely reason for Monster Hunter Wilds having such bad performance issues is simply due to poor optimization and the fact that it's quite a detailed and demanding game. Now, I don't see the detail, unfortunately. I'm got to be real with you guys. The game doesn't look nowhere near as good as I thought it was going to look from the trailers, but maybe that's just me. I have not downloaded the high texture pack because I heard that makes the game run even worse. But as of right now, I'm running the game as it was supposed to be, and it doesn't really look that great. I feel like the Resident Evil remakes look way better, but then again, different system, same engine, but different system. It's obviously, zones, 100% zones, whereas Monster Hunter is trying to give the perception of open world, but it has like seamless loading zones. It's a totally different thing. Dragon's Dogma 2 had the same problem when it was first released. But then that being said, some players think that there's another reason altogether, and it could be as simple as a single letter in the code being out of place. Over on the Monster Hunter subreddit, one of the most popular posts comes from Redditor Zadaso, who shared a discovery made by Beep Boop on Steam. According to them, there's a typo in the game's configuration files, with the resolution accidentally spelled as Rossaltuian for some reason. Such a small spelling mistake might not seem like a big deal, but players are reporting that fixing it and changing it back to resolution changes the game's performance to get much better. Across the Reddit thread, many claim that doing so has fixed many of Wild's performance issues, which is, pardon the pun, wild if true. And again, if this is true, we don't know right now. Obviously, these are people that are talking on Reddit and sharing their own experiences. I haven't done anything myself to verify it. I can do it. I can go into the configuration file and see if I can get it to work, and I'll try it on the next Griffcast when we stream it. But as of right now, this is just, them saying it, so take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. We don't know if it's 100% true yet, but if it is true, that's insane. And if it is true that it's misspelled in the configuration file, that's even more insane, in my opinion, right? Because this game went through a multitude of checks and balances, I would hope anyway. This game went through a multitude of different supposed checks, game testing, beta testing, all that stuff. And that went through. I think that's insane. We clearly need to get better with overall, quality checking. Right now, it's not clear if the typo being fixed actually helps the game's performance, or if this is a classic case of placebo for players wanting it to be better, but there's a decent amount of discussion on both sides. It likely isn't the root cause of all of Monster Hunter Wild's issues, but it does seem to make some of them better. But there's a decent amount of discussion on both sides. And again, guys, I don't know. We won't know. Everybody's systems are different. If you do play this game, I will say this. If you play this game and you are experiencing problems with the game, I don't think it would hurt to go into the configuration file and change it to spell actually resolution and not what it's spelled in the file, and see if it helps you. As of right now, I'm going to try it when I boot up the game, on the next Griffcast on Monday. But as of right now, I haven't been able to personally verify this, so take it with a grain of salt. And right now, it's just a crazy rumor. But if it's true, it's insane. Capcom seriously needs to do better, in my opinion. At this point, I understand people are hardcore Capcom fans, and I get it, man. Street Fighter 6 even sometimes runs a little bit wonky. But even though you're a fan of Capcom, we need to hold these companies accountable. We really do. I understand they're not really going to care too much because they're at obviously almost 1.4 million concurrent players, which means they have over 2 to 3 million sales on Steam alone easily. But you still have to make your voices heard, which you are in the reviews. So that's great. But I hope that Capcom truly, for their PC fan base that loves their games so much, I do hope that they focus more on their PC porting a little bit better, because at this point in time, man, it's 2025. There's no reason to be porting games on PC this terribly. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.